Hey guys, this is Joe. Today I want to introduce you to our partner Vanta. Achieving ISO 27001 or SOC 2 compliance can unlock major growth for your company and build customer trust, but the process can be time intense and costly. Vanta automates compliance, getting your audit ready quickly and saving up to 85% of associated costs. And Vanta scales with your business, helping you enter new markets. Join 7,000 global companies like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Quora that trust Vanta. Claim 20% off Vanta at vanta.com/startupradio. That's vanta.com, spelled vanta.com/startupradio.
UniApp is the subscription management hub for B2B SaaS companies. Whether you're looking to expand to new markets, experimenting with pricing models, or simply want a streamlined quote-to-cash process, UniApp got your back. On top of that, UniApp Insights provides the SaaS metrics you need for reporting to the board and for future company evaluation. It gives you the key figures needed to drive your business forward and take strategic decisions. UniApp. We help SaaS companies manage their B2B customer subscriptions.
Welcome to Startuprad.io, your podcast and YouTube blog covering the German startup scene with news, interviews, and live events.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Joe from Startuprad.io, bringing you another interview in our cooperation with Invest in Hessen, the investment promotion agency of the state of Hessen here in Germany around Frankfurt. This recording, of course, was made possible by Invest in Hessen. Right now, I do have a guest who is here with me. Hey, Fahid, how you doing?
Hi, Joe. How are you? Thank you for having me on Startup Radio, and glad to be here, of course.
Totally my pleasure. Everybody who is watching the YouTube video already knows that you are with UniApp because you're wearing the respective hoodie. But let us first go a little bit through your CV. I've seen you did a bachelor's in Cologne and Paris. I would assume a dual degree.
Exactly. So I started my journey in Cologne Business School. Nowadays, I think they have rebranded to CBS International Business School. So it was a bachelor's in finance, and I conducted my semester abroad in Paris Business School, of course. Yeah.
Okay, can you give us a secret? Where's the best place for breakfasting in Paris?
Wow. It depends if you can. It depends if you can afford it, because back that times I couldn't afford much. So it was very tricky to find a good place to have a breakfast there, and yet to be afforded. As you know, Paris is such an expensive luxury lifestyle. So and I was in Paris directly. So it was not the easiest way, but of course, you can just walk around in Paris. It's a wonderful streets, and you can have a croissant and a coffee anywhere, and you will enjoy it.
I think the bars there are called arrondissements. Which arrondissement did you live in?
Where I have been living there, you mean?
Yeah, in which arrondissement, which location within?
I think it's called La Défense, and near La Défense. It was the 6th district, something like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was near La Défense. So I was watching I forgot the names, the Champs-Élysées, and yeah, from that place, because the La Défense was a little bit on a higher level. So you were watching all Paris from that spot.
Very nice. Strong recommendation, because this is going live shortly before Christmas. Before Christmas, Paris is always worth a trip because they'll have beautiful decorated city, awesome food, and of course, great stuff to see. But then you went for an MBA in the UK, right?
Exactly.
Where did you go there?
Buckinghamshire University. So it's university founded, I think, almost 200 years ago. So I decided to have a mix of degrees, Germany, France, and UK. I think best degrees in Europe, I think.
Mhm.
So this was my choice, and it was the MBA was a very general. As you know, MBA is for general administrative skills, etc. But when I started my MBA, I started at the same moment my startup UniApp.
Mhm. And but I still see you worked at the same time for 3 years. First in a private rating agency, then as an investment advisor. So can you take us a little bit along the journey, what you did there, what you learned, and how did you run in parallel UniApp?
When I started my career, it was back in Germany. Let's say 2015. It was at Fairy Group. Fairy Group is a asset manager with 34 billions of euros in asset under management, and my role was there in day one, student trainee. I developed myself. I presented new ideas, expansion plans to the board and CEO of the company,
Mhm.
of the group, and I was taken seriously, and I got the chance to prove that I can lead such a project. And then step by step, I got from the financial accounting department to hedge funds, and then to a senior advisor of the group, where I was responsible for our expansion in Middle East and Africa, pitching triple-digit million amounts to public funds, sovereign wealth funds, the biggest asset managers and family offices in the world, here and there and everywhere. So this was my role there. Afterwards, I wanted to develop my career further, so I joined a small investment bank boutique, where I got a success percentage in the company, and took over the M&A senior advisory role for real estate transactions, big real estate transactions, as well with sovereign wealth funds. I was handling the MENA region, Asia, and many other places where I expanded my network, built a new network, and opened a lot of business opportunities and investment opportunities in Europe for different parts of the world. Um, then, after a couple of years, I even got an executive role at a big German holding group called Wohninvest. And then suddenly I started UniApp, and I thought with a startup I will work less. It was a trap. It was really a trap. So of course I'm working 24/7. It feels like 24/7 really. Like even when I sleep, I dream about tasks.
Yeah, same here, same here. We may add for everybody who doesn't know that MENA means Middle East and North Africa. And I'm actually surprised now hearing this story. Okay, you've been in the real estate business and then you founded an Edtech. Why didn't you go for a prop tech startup? That would have made more sense from this angle.
Coming up with new ideas are based on most of the time, private experience. It's something happened to you in your private life. It happened to you while experiencing anything. It could be financial things where you found like I can do this better. It could be run in a smoother way, or on any kind of journey as a customer, as a client, as a user of any app, of any services, even if it's a tech service or even on a classical approach. And for myself, when I started UniApp, it was more that my background as an international student. I joined and studied at international schools. So I knew that I can do things better. I can ease the journey. I can issue a lot of services that can be done in one app, etc. So I had a vision of putting all of that, everything that an international student can need. I can put it in one app and solve the whole problem. Of course, it's easy but the hardest part is executing, and this is the key in all of that startup world. Can you execute things? Can you put things together and show us the outcome, or is it just a vision, a nice idea that you can't execute?
Ideas are cheap, execution is hard. One question about the naming UniApp. It totally makes sense here in Germany and in Europe. You say you attend university. In German, you say ich gehe zur Universität. That makes sense. For the Americans, it's a little bit more college, but you stuck first to the European angle.
We established, as you know, in Germany, and for us, it's the main focus was the German market to digitalize the whole educational sector in Germany, which we are achieving huge milestones. A lot of universities, colleges, and schools reach out to use the technology to digitalize the journey for a potential student, whatever. At the very beginning, we even didn't decide for UniApp. It was Udrus. Udrus is an Arabic name called study. So it was udrus.com, study.com. In Arabic, our main focus was bringing the Arabic-speaking countries or students to Germany. When we established, we saw the traction going globally, like students coming from India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, China, Middle East, Africa, even from North America, and South Europe. So we decided that name doesn't make sense, future oriented. So we had a lot of ideas, tech ideas. So we kept Udrus.com as a lead management platform. It is a technology with a search engine. If you go to Udrus.com, it acts like a search engine. You will immediately from the homepage recognize that I can search for something, and it's schools, universities, and programs and degrees. But UniApp was the name which I fought for to get the domain, to get the trademark, and everything else. And the past 12 to 18 months to promote globally. And it really did good. Like UniApp is the easiest and most self-explained name in that space. So it's very easy. Like when you speak about, we have a UniApp, like, you do something with universities. Even if you don't know what is UniApp, you immediately know that it's something about education. And Uni is not just universities. You can say Uni for universal. And you have a broader reach. Services and features which will be included in the Uni app will be like everything. You can chat, you can use it for social communication, you can check feeds, news, and open a bank account, get your health insurance, so many things. So it is a Uni app for universally to use it for universities, students attending universities, kids planning to attend universities, dreaming of graduating from universities. So it's all in one.
At first, we got a little bit impression that is, so to say, a customer journey when you want to attend a certain university. But can you take us along the journey? For example, take a student somewhere in the Middle East who learns about UniApp and what he or she can do there, and how and then at a later stage we talk about what it does for the universities, for the colleges, for the institutions of higher education.
Okay, I will simplify the journey, but not speaking about technology and how we do it in terms of technology. But for our students, it's very easy to use. They have an app called UniApp. And with that UniApp, you can create one profile. It's called My UniApp. This profile includes all your data, your educational background, what you have achieved, transcripts, CVs, recommendation letters, work experience, certificates of your prior work experience, everything else. So all your documents are in your My UniApp. And that profile, once it's completed 100%, you can use it to do anything offered on UniApp. So you can apply for language schools, you can apply for online degrees and courses, you can apply for your bachelor's, master's, or a pathway. you can do everything. So it is your key as a student to access all UniApp's partner schools and partners, generally speaking, in terms of accommodation provider, banks, health insurance, and whatever.
I see. You said when we talked before that but first, before we go into that, where is the utility for the institutions of learning, the universities, the language schools? How do they profit from joining UniApp?
Exactly. So first of all, they have a broadened reach. Students are struggling through when they start or deciding first they want to study abroad or study anywhere. What's the first thing they do? First, they go to a search engine, regardless which one.
Google.
Exactly. So they type bachelor's or what's the best school? Where can I study this? What's the requirements for that? When is the intakes? So they get a lot of manipulated outcomes. The first 5 to 10 outcomes are ads, and then the best SEO providers. So it's it doesn't make sense for a student just to go his best and most important journey through just the suggestion of a search engine.
Mm-hmm.
So what we have done here is created a search engine that is not being manipulated by ads, where students can explore all study programs and apply with one single touch or click. For universities, first of all, you have a digital approach. So you have all your data, all your information of the student applying to you in a digital way where you can process it, use UniApp as a CRM tool. You can communicate with the student. You can answer communities of students. You can reach out to a broadened network of students via marketing emails, sending them direct messages, having everything organized as an admission center in Frankfurt and everything else. So this is something universities didn't have access to. And this is what we have organized. So we organized the whole space.
They basically relied on their SEO, on their marketing to just get people in and get them on their own systems.
Exactly.
Ah, I see. When we talked before, you talked about searching for degrees and that you take into account 600 inputs. If we talk about every input here, this interview will get very, very long. So we skip this, but can you hit some of the highlights, some of the data points you are using to match eventually the institution and the student?
You know, I had said it before on German TVs in German that if I want to explain it in a very simple way, what kind of technology we are trying to produce, you can put in the algorithms of a dating app and UniApp, and they will be exact matching. But instead of matching someone who wants to date, it's more matching the university that can accept this student with his potential, and the student can reach his potential in that school. So this is in short what the 600 inputs are all about. So if you give us your full profile, and let's say you provided that you have a budget of XY, and we know that, for example, in London, you can't live through with such a budget, we will not recommend some schools in that region. So we will exactly match you to schools where you feel free and good and comfortable to study at. Mm-hmm. Also reach your full potential, like soft skill matching and everything else. What's the culture? What's the first language, second language? Maybe visa barriers, the minimum maximum cost of living, of accommodation, the minimum maximum cost of transportation, etc. So we take all these aspects and put it together in a machine learning, and then we match you to a school. Of course, this is a very complicated algorithm. And we are still not deploying it at the moment to have, let's say we reached now over 20,000 students are using UniApp. So we are trying to test it on 100,000 students and then deploy it.
How many as you said, how many students do you have right now using the UniApp?
In less than 2 months, over 20,000.
Over 20,000. That is pretty impressive. I was wondering when you talked about the costs of living, I'm sure London, Paris, and New York really stand out in terms of costs. But have there been some cities where you've been surprised? Oh my God, this is so expensive.
Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, yeah, makes sense. Living, I would say, accommodations. Dubai, yeah, makes sense.
Because a lot of students are aiming to study in Dubai as well.
Mhm.
And many UK institutions and schools are opening a campus in Dubai. So we see that kind of transformation as well.
I heard the same about Singapore. I would assume that's also pretty expensive.
Exactly.
I see. You said you bootstrapped UniApp.com within a year to 1 million annual recurring revenues. Is that true? And where do you stand right now?
When we raised 1 million for UniApp, the aim was to build the technology. So while building the technology, we were online, but we were confused. We had huge traction. We had a lot of users signing up. We launched, I think, 10 days ago our app on iOS and Android, and we have over 5,000 downloads for UniApp. All of that numbers are too big for just an establishment. So we really decided even to raise more funds at the moment. But we are still building internally the organization in a professional way, where you have a hierarchy and processing and trying to deliver the most quality to users using UniApp, because it's not just clients and students, it's also agencies, it's universities, study advisors, account managers. So there are a lot of parties using the same app in different roles, processing all of that together.
So that means you're now beyond 1 million annual recurring revenue?
We are currently fundraising, so I'd rather not disclose numbers. I'm just because of the sensitivity of big investors and VCs. They don't want the other investors in the ecosystem to exactly know in what they have invested and why. So I think at that moment I have to be very confidential about numbers.
But can you tell us, in terms of users, how fast you're currently growing in terms of percentage? Are you doubling like each year?
We double sometimes weekly.
Whew. So
we had, for example, and when we founded UniApp, we had 4 students, and then a whole next year we had 100 students, and now in last 3 months we got 20K. And daily, even when I refresh the page, I want to give you an idea about that. Do you remember when Facebook first announced their first 1 million user? They were counting down like 99.995, 1 million. And then they celebrated for an hour and they came back. It was already 2 million. So it really so it really doubles very fast. You are scaling very fast. You can't follow how many users and things. Of course, we have a professional dashboard, and but of course, every time when I go out and come back, I see hundreds of students using the app.
What would you say are your biggest competitors?
In terms of globally doing things, our competitors, which I assume they are competitors, they are focused on niches. They are focused only on B2B. They are not providing CRM admission tool for schools, for example. There is a lot of lack. There is no super app for international students. And I think we are the first mover at the moment. In terms of similar companies who are we competing with, I think there is plenty of them. I think there is Sleep, Adventus, Apply, Abroad, Apply Board, Apply everywhere. Like there is a lot of similarity in the names. Even UniApp, there is UniApply, Apply Now, UniApply Then. So the names are all focused around Uni app, apply, things like that. But you have to imagine one thing, Joe. Do you know that more than 100 billion US dollars are paid in tuition yearly?
I could imagine. I went to college in Texas, and it can be pricey, yeah.
Exactly. So imagine that out of 100 billions yearly paid in tuition, there is still no market leader having even close to 1% of that market. So imagine a huge market with so much potential, but still there is room for not like UniApp only, or our competitors, or our current competitors, but even if there are like hundreds of similar ideas like UniApp coming into the market, there will be room and space for them to make a huge institution out of it. It's a huge market. It's a very huge market.
I was wondering, just talking about your market, is your business seasonal? Because in Germany, you usually start in Herbst semester, which is around starting around October. In the US, you start college sometime in September. And I could see the business being a little bit seasonal there. Is that true?
Not actually. The outcome is seasonal, of course, but the business, it's ongoing, nonstop. Why? There is no students saying, tomorrow is the intake, I submit my application today. It's a preparation, it's a planning. It's sometimes 6 months before the intake, before the starting, sometimes a year before. So you have ongoing operations, ongoing tasks. A lot of intakes are different. There are private schools having intakes in Jan, February, March, and then there are schools in April and in the summer and whatever. So you don't have a seasonal business, but you have more an operational, ongoing goal to make the, let's say, the application and the student enrollment as smooth as possible. But even when the student enrolls, you have thousands of other students preparing for the next intake. So it's ongoing. It's not seasonal. The outcome is seasonal, like in terms of a business revenue and a business outcome. Maybe you have 2 shots yearly with the university where you get your outcome, or your, let's say, the revenues, but you still have a lot of different schools, different systems, different intakes here and there.
You talked about up to 6 months prior. I assume if you do if you need standardized tests like SAT or GMAT, there should even be a longer runway. How long before you actually start your university would you recommend the students really to go onto UniApp and get started to prepare?
That's why we prepared AI. And some students don't need even the preparation, because if you are a German student, you meet all the requirements. You don't need a visa or any language tests. You can just apply days before. And sometimes a private school will process your application. They have space for you, and that's it. And sometimes it takes you like 8 to 12 months because there are visa barriers. The embassy is closed in your countries. There are political aspects to be taken. Like we had students from Afghanistan. They had to travel from Afghanistan to Mumbai and there apply in the consulate to have a visa as an Afghani applying through India to travel from India to Germany. So there is a lot of complications, but there is no specific formula to say this is the exact time, this is the best time. No, it's just depending on what's your inputs and what's your profile and where you're coming from and what kind of passport you have.
Rule of thumb is the longer you have runway, the better it is. I was wondering where you guys are available right now. You talked about an app. I would assume you're on Android and iOS.
We are Android, iOS, everywhere globally. We have users from over 80 countries globally. We have an operational team in India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Jordan, Egypt, Dubai, Kenya, Senegal, Germany. Yes. And we are expanding. we are expanding. We having daily brainstorming on doing things better and faster and scale.
Mm-hmm. I see. We are talking today because you raised 1 million seed funding in Q2 this year. Given the current situation, do you have, by the way, congratulations to that. Given the current situation, do you have any recommendation for how to prepare and pitch investors?
First of all, try to find a proof for your concept. Nowadays, big VCs, big investors tend to invest in founders, not in ideas, because it was proven wrong that not the best ideas succeed, but sometimes the best executors succeed. And if you have an idea and you can't execute it, at least find someone who has the experience and can execute such a vision or such an idea, especially if it's a business-oriented startup. That's it.
Mm-hmm. You already said you're currently fundraising, so I assume you're open to talk to new investors.
Definitely.
Of course, you're looking for money also to hire people. Are you currently hiring? What roles are you looking for?
We have a lot of open positions, like in different countries: recruitment, key account managers, business development managers, junior analysts, data scientists. We have a lot of openings in IT department. I need an executive assistant, for example, to make my life easier. I have hundreds of meetings scheduled weekly, and I don't attend most of them. So there is a lot. We are really scaling and growing very fast.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a careers website that you could send me? We can link down here in the show notes.
We have not made that happen on our website. We usually use third parties for that, like Indeed, LinkedIn, Stepstone, whatever. But very soon, our HR department will start having a portal on our website for openings. Exactly.
Okay, so that means we'll link down here the show notes. There's approximately a little bit over a month until this is published, so maybe there are the first hints already here. We're running now a little bit longer than the usual interview already. You're a great guest. Thank you for that. And this interview is sponsored by Invest in Hessen. So I was wondering why you said shop in Hessen, and what do you feel the advantages are?
Frankfurt is home for me. So I've been offered a lot of opportunities in the GCC countries, in the US, as a career, even in Germany, in different in Baden-Württemberg, to move to some other regions. But Hessen, Frankfurt is home, and this is how I was raised, and I like to stay home.
I see. You now have the unique opportunity to address the decision makers here in the state. What would you wish for? What are concerns? What is a question? And ask a favor to address them. What could they do to improve the climate for entrepreneurs here?
I think we have. I don't say bad, but compared to a lot of startup ecosystem, we have the worst. To be honest, I'm from Frankfurt, I'm from Hessen, and I know that we are way behind. Decision makers don't understand what technology is. They support startups in terms of a new established business venture, but don't really get who's the next big thing, what is technology, etc. And I think there is very limited support, unreasonable support, and I think they have to do a lot to support this, especially to attract more investors to Hessen, to attract more startups, to encourage young talented people to join startups and establish their own startups. So I think there is a lot missing. Like, I've been to many countries. I visited a lot of many startups globally. If it's in the Arabic-speaking countries like Dubai, Saudi Arabia, and they are the one with innovations. They are the one with the right ecosystem for startups. But it should be the other way around, to be honest. We have the capacity in Germany. We have the budget. We have a lot of things that a lot of other countries don't have. We have institutions, and we have many, many other things I don't want to mention and go deep in the topic. But I mean, I think there is a lot of missing things, and I wish that decision makers will focus on how to support startups, because startups can solve any economical problem. Like, if you see in the US, the whole country is based on startups. And a lot of other countries currently raising and having companies in value of billions. They are all startups. They are not long-time established companies. And that's what we are missing. We are really relying on manufacturers that are years old, decades, and sometimes a century old. And this is not the future. This is a part of the economy, but this is not the future.
I see. Well, thank you very much. That gives...
I hope I was not harsh.
It's an open question, and you also can address wishes short for us. And I do believe for the political decision makers, there will be something to think about. I do believe they already understood that in Germany, all across the country, there's of course a lot of for improvement. Their political decision makers understand that across Germany, there's a lot of room for improvement. And I do believe you just picked one aspect out of that. And of course, I would be more than happy if they do more for startups regionally here. Fayed, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. And of course, let us know when you raised another funding round, and we'll be very happy to share the news.
Thank you, Joe. It was really great talking to you. I hope the last part of the interview didn't destroy a lot. But I think sometimes we have to criticize the decision makers because it's not about myself. I succeeded in raising, and we are going straight forward and scaling, but there are a lot of entrepreneurs struggling through the process and need a lot of support and attention. And I wish they will get all the attention and support needed from decision makers and from the ecosystem and everyone around them.
Great. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye. Cheers.
That's all, folks. Find more news, streams, events, and interviews at www.Startuprad.io. Remember, sharing is caring.
When you're an entrepreneur with a great idea, it can be daunting to find funding. Startup Raven takes the process out of your hands by helping entrepreneurs connect and learn about potential investors all in one place, without any long-filled forms or 1,000 questions. Sign up for early access at Startuprad.io.